In this video, I'm going to go over multiplying polynomials. With this one, I'm going to go over a monomial times a monomial and a monomial times a binomial. Okay, this video is perfect if you are in grade 9 and grade 10. While I am going to be using a grade 10 workbook, the examples are the same and you do need to know them for grade 9. And if you're in grade 10, well, we're just moving through our polynomials unit. So let's look at this example here. So again, we've got a monomial times a monomial times a monomial. And this example here asks us to solve the example using tiles. And what I'm going to do is right next to it also show it using numbers. Your job is to figure out which method works for you and then go ahead and use them. So what I'm going to do is we're going to say we're going 3. So just the number 3. So I'm going to go ahead and just write the little tiles that represent 3. Right, so just that tile there. And we're multiplying it by 4x squared. Well, here's my x squared, and then we just need 4 of them. So that's going to look something like this. All right, so now what we're saying is they're being multiplied. So you've got 1x squared times 1. Well, that's just going to make the exact same thing for each row. So all I'm doing is, you can see I'm just duplicating it each time to represent the amount of times that it gets multiplied. Perfect, so now we can count them up. So all together, I've got 4 by 3. So that's gonna leave me with 12x squared. Now let's look at it using numbers. So the same thing, I'm just gonna write the question here. And this is one where we can go ahead and rainbow in that 3. So 3 times 4 we know is 12. And we're gonna have to bring over that like term. So you're saying you've got 3 groups of 4x squared. So just as the picture shows as well, that's going to get me to 12x squared. So either way, our answer is the same, whether we use the tiles or the numbers. Okay, let's look at this example here. So for this one, we have 2x. So here's my x. And we've got x minus 1. So there's my x right here and my negative 1. So we're going to go ahead and multiply them. X times x is going to give us that big X squared. And then we're going to have this exact same thing right next to it. And then now we've got x times 1. Well, that'll just give me an x. Move that little x up. And then same thing on the other side. So altogether, my answer for this is 2x squared minus 2. And you know what? Let me go ahead and shade that in so we're clear. I was just doing the negative in my head, but it is negative 1, which is going to make this negative, and then this negative as well. And then if we were to just kind of do it with numbers, we're going to rainbow in everything. Let's zoom into this. So 2x times x, well, 2 times 1 is 2. X times x, remember there's that invisible 1 from exponents. So really you're saying they've got the same base and an exponent of 1 each time. So we can add those exponents. That's going to get me x squared. And then 2x times negative 1, bring down that negative because anything times a negative times a positive is a negative. And then we're multiplying it by 1. That's going to get me to 2x. So that looks something like that. And we've got the same answer. Okay, so these are the 2 examples that you're responsible for knowing in grade 9, and in grade 10 it's a review. Now, what we're gonna focus on now is something called FOIL. So there's 2 ways you can do it. You can do it without using the FOIL method, which I have this video here that explains it, or you can take a look at this video, and this is going to actually go through how to solve a binomial times a binomial using FOIL.